This is me for my whole life. This is me in spring 2021. And this is me now. I have been so unsatisfied with how I look for like 10 years. The method that helped me the most is the most obvious, the most on the surface one. Today I want to share with you the algorithm, how you move from whatever look you have now to a look that you love. I'll guide you through 5 steps to do this. Let us start with what people confuse the most, okay? I would get a month in the Barry's bootcamp. Like, this class is hard, it's very aggressive. I cannot wait to see myself in a month so ripped and in shape. This is wrong. No class will change how you look in a month or two. The reason is because any sport plays only 20 to 30% role in your weight loss, and your food is the most important. So you can go as hard as you want in sports, but unless your food is fixed, this just will not work. And the label healthy and the sort of marketing notion of what's healthy is completely wrong, and it's driving people in a very wrong direction. The easiest way to understand what foods are healthy is whole. Just remember this food, whole food. So whole food is any food that just grows or like is produced and is not changed or modified too much. You have nice, beautiful oat groats that are whole. This is like the most whole version of oats. By the way, I love them. They can be cut in like halves and sold as steel cut oats, which is basically not processed as well. Then you got an oat flake, which is like squeezed, but also doesn't have some parts of a grain already, and it's a bit more processed. Some oats to be made in microwave that are powdered to like a powder, and this is less of a whole oat. I mean, it's still technically oats and the macros are still the same, but it's a powder that is less filling and all the fibers have been like destroyed already. And then you're gonna have the oats that you cover in honey and sugar and add some flavor to it, and you bake and you get granola. And like, granola is processed, okay? So when you choose your food, every single meal, you want to choose something that is less processed. Eggs instead of protein balls. You should not choose the foods that are labeled as healthy. You should choose foods that you believe are whole. There is one other rule about food, and it's tracking. And I know you probably hate hearing this from me, but tracking is essential. But there is a tracking method that is proven to be even more working, and this is hand method. You use your hand to measure your food. Protein, for example, a piece of meat or a steak or a fish, you try to have it like roughly the size of your like palm in here. Carbs, for example, you have pasta or grains, you choose a handful of carbs, like a cupped hand, like this. Fats, so this is avocado, oils, peanut butter. I love peanut butter. You choose like the thumb. You just calculate how much food you need with a calculator, and then you get the number of like these portions, and you just use the portion every single time that you have like 4 meals, for example, and every single time you have that many protein, that many carbs, that many vegetables, and that many fat. But it's not precise. You're always using the same unit of measurement. It's always your hand. It means that if you make adjustments, it's always good because these adjustments are within the same scale of measurement. And next time you, for example, measure yourself and you don't see enough progress, you take your whole bunch of carbs that you need and you just get one handful of carbs out. So a calculator will never give you the precise amount of calories. You start with this basic point, and then once you track your progress with your body, you just adjust. And this is how people do, this is how athletes do. So that if it's your first time dealing with a calculator or counting food, it can be hard. So please use the link down below if you want to receive your personalized calculation. Point number 3 is tracking your progress, because your body changes gradually, and some of the changes, positive changes, can happen and you just won't be noticing them. Best to measure yourself every single week. But I've been measuring how I look for, I think, past 3.5 years. I do my measurement, my waist, my hips, single hip, then I do my pictures, and only then I do weight. Weight is least precise. My album with my progress pictures is over 500 photos, and like, if I'm very demotivated and I think I look horrible, I just look into these pictures and like, okay, I've done some way, I probably don't look that bad. Step number 4 is activity. Activity is necessary, but it is not the first thing you need to do. First, it helps to expend energy. It's like money. If you wanna your body be smaller, so like have less money, you want it to give out more than you receive. Because our muscle is like organ that consume the most energy, so you wanna move your muscle as much as possible. You wanna choose the sport that you can do for longest, because this is the most you can and spend calories on. And most of the people choose running, but actually walking is proven to be best. Walking is ideal, what we call cardio. There is second type of sport that fills in your frame. So imagine your body is a frame. Well, usually ladies want something hourglass and males want something like upside down triangle. You look what you're trying for. At some point, I was at the point where I was already feel like, okay, I lost a couple of kilos, and I suddenly noticed that my butt is not round. For some reason, I thought that if I become slimmer, my butt becomes rounder. So I had a moment of realization where I just looked at my butt from the back in the mirror in the fitness club, and I noticed that it becomes more just flat. What I started to realize, okay, like what kind of athlete maximize everything they do for just looking best, and this is bikini fitness. I realized the gym is the best part to do so, and this is true because just gym builds muscle in the areas you want to have more filled. This helps to build the frame because muscle consume energy. It means that you will be able to eat more. Once you've lost weight, you want to be slim but eat like enough. And what happens if you just lose weight? You'll probably have to stay within this like very, very narrow range of how much you can eat because you don't move much. And muscle actually helps you look better, but also like it allows you to have more tissue that spends energy and you're gonna be eating more. So honestly, my goal is just like to build as much muscle as I can and like eat as much as I can without looking worse than I do now. And I know that the girls are very, very afraid to like bulk too much, but trust me, it is not. I've been going to gym for like prep for a year and a half and I probably missed like 1 or 2. I'm super frequent. Trust me, you won't bulk too much. And now, after we've come all of these 4 points, we are ready to come to the most important one. It is mindset. I normally see people who are trying to lose weight, trying to be smart goal setters. People want to lose 5 kilos before the New Year's. By the way, it's time. Or like get lean for vacation. This is a horrible strategy because if you achieve the goal, what do you do next? You have no idea how to maintain. If you don't achieve the goal, what do you do next? Do you reframe the goal? No, people usually just get disappointed like, nah, I'll look as I do in the New Year. So now like won't care and I'll buy a dress that is larger in size. This is not good thing. Also, what can happen if you set a precise weight goal, you can reach the goal and you can understand this is not the way you're happy in. You can realize that this is actually way too low weight and you want to gain weight, or on the contrary, you actually need to lose a couple of extra pounds to feel happier. So this is not a good strategy. I propose another one, and I propose a growth mindset and a even better strategy. The steps I've told you, they are absolutely working. They're working on anyone healthy. Anybody can look better, and this is true. If you don't, it just means some of these steps are just not executed well enough. So I propose a different mindset that I was sticking to, and alongside of my journey of losing weight, I've always been happy. You will be better if you do proper nutrition and sport, but you track your progress every single week, or maybe every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, but you will constantly see your progress. And even in the moments when you are not yet in the like where you want to be satisfied, you're still happy because you are making progress. Imagine this. I'll tell you something from my own experience. In 2021, I got my first bikini competition. It was not successful, but for me it was a huge success because I already lost lots of weight, and I think I was 54.5 kilo once I left the competition, and I started slowly gaining weight to get some muscle. And in the peak of April, I weighed like 58.8 kilos, which is like a lot gain. But imagine, because I was measuring myself all the time and just I was seeing my gains, I was happy all this time. And when we decided to cut in April, I went down for like 8 kilos. I think I went 8 kilos down. But imagine that I was happy with how I am progressing every single time, and I was feeling feminine and extremely self-confident in every single stage of this journey, because in a week I would weigh like 58 kilos. I'm like, wow, I'm 0.8 down, I'm smaller, and I'm like, wow, it's such a boost of self-confidence. So trust me, what builds your self-confidence is not the precise number of the scale, but it's the journey you made. So try to enjoy the journey. And last part of the mindset, which is very important, and it sort of flows out of this one, is we want to cross out the grind mindset. And I know many people, they feel that if they're trying to lose weight, they need to grind, and this is not true. In fact, the more you grind, the probably less successful you will be. Why? Because if your body is stressed, if you are stressed, and you already have some weight you don't like. So there are people who like lose weight when they're stressed, but probably then you won't be watching this video. But for most people, if they're stressed, they don't lose weight. Just if your body is too stressed, it feels endangered, and it want to keep as much energy as it wishes for itself. And try to remember the other day when you, for example, did not have enough sleep. On that day, you have extreme cravings. Why? Because your body feels it doesn't have rest, it want to compensate with energy, but also because your body tries to compensate with energy and it tries to carve out energy to maintain your basic functions in your body. It's also like taking some energy from willpower. You just have less willpower and you're just tired and you eat, and this is just a sad stuff. And imagine on the other side, this is what I noticed with me. If I would go I would always notice that I would go on vacation and lose weight. And when I'm back to work, and I'm a grinder, honestly, I used to be such a workaholic, and I'm still a grinder and hard. So I would work a lot, I would gain weight, and I realized that there is a connection. And I just saw that when I'm rested and had enough sleep, and I'm surrounded by people I love, and I'm doing things I do in a flow, I just forget to eat. And when I'm too tired and grinding and just thinking about the training, I want to eat like compensate. So I felt this strongly, and this works on humans. So much research around this topic. So you want to make sure you don't grind. You want to make sure you are as loving, as caring to yourself. If these steps are too much, to introduce them one by one slowly to make sure you're not too stressed. And in fact, most important steps are actually not hard. Like choosing whole food is not hard. I mentioned that sport doesn't have a like grinder, it can be walking. So just try to be gentle with yourself and notice your progress. Again, it helps a lot to just be happier every single step. And please leave in a comment the step you wanna start with. I think it's very important because it will guarantee that you will start.